What's going on, guys? It's Brad with Own the Chaos. Yes, if you are visiting me, again, if you're returning, let me adjust my camera here just a little bit. So if you're returning as one of my subscribers, you probably are used to me just saying, oh, hey, it's Brad with Trading OTCs. But that is not the case any longer. I have officially changed the name of my channel. I think Own the Chaos is appropriate when it comes to trading over-the-counter stocks. I think it fits our team perfectly, and I love it. I actually consulted with a lot of you guys to ask your opinions on it, and it was a pretty positive response, so I just went with it. I think it's great. I think it's creative, and it describes us perfectly. So anyway, if you are visiting for the first time, please stay tuned or watch the entire video as my regular subscribers will tell you that I always answer a live Q&A at the end of the video to answer any questions, whether it's related to the topic we discussed tonight or otherwise. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So go ahead and plug away in the chat off to the side, and let's get started. So talking about reinstatements, and reinstatements within the OTC is basically just as it sounds. So if there is a shell company or a company that maybe has been dissolved and a new buyer comes in, buys that company and wants to reinvest into that company and bring it back to life, so to speak, so that they can turn it into something actually legitimate, they will file for reinstatement, oftentimes with either the Nevada State Secretary, the Wyoming State Secretary, or the popular ones because of like tax purposes and stuff like that. And so what does that do for you as the investor? Why does that matter to you? Because companies don't submit for reinstatements for a reason. It costs a lot of money to reinstate a company, and they're doing that so that they can recreate a company into whatever it is that they want to create it into. Oftentimes that involves ticker changes, name changes within the company because it's taking an entirely new, different direction. And oftentimes that means money in your pocket, because the valuation of that company will skyrocket depending. It could, I don't want to say will, could skyrocket depending on news that comes out, filings that come out, and that sort of thing. I'm going to go over some examples, or one particular example, but I want to actually shout out one of our own within our group. His name is within TechBuds, or within our Discord chat, is Terra Nouveau, and I'll go ahead and show you what he has pointed out to all of us in regards to reinstatements, and even show you a stock that resulted in over a 1,500% gain since it was reinstated back on March 8th, which isn't a lot of time. It's just over a month that it's jumped over 1,500%. I believe it's actually almost 2,000% or more at its highest peak. I didn't really do the math off the top of my head, but anyway, just wanted to go into that real quick. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen like always. Someone asked, can you repeat? No, I'm not going to repeat. Just go back and watch it, man. Okay, so sharing my screen here. All right, so Terra Nouveau, as you can see here, this is within our Discord group. If you're not within Discord, there's a link in the description. I encourage you to go ahead and check us out. And he provided a list of all the reinstatements, companies who submitted and filed for reinstatement since January 23rd. This is as of April 11th, but I thought this was a good topic to discuss tonight. And as you can see, a lot of them actually went up quite a bit. RARS, 516%. Some of them went down, but not a whole lot. I mean, look at this, 9%. And that is oftentimes because maybe somebody thinks that this reinstatement is going to go through and big things are coming, and then for whatever reason the CEO doesn't deliver, and the valuation of the stock just goes down. So anyway, here's another one that actually was shouted out in our group, NBDR, and this is the one I'm going to be talking about tonight. 1,360% as of April 11th. It's actually up more than that right now. It's over 1,500%. And let's get into that. So I have the TradingView chart opened up, and I went ahead and drew a line for you from the date that the reinstatement went live and then the peak of it, basically. I wanted to just kind of give you a perspective. I mean, this was trading at 0033, 0043 cents per share when the reinstatement was approved and updated, and then it had highs of over 14 cents. So just to give you an idea, an example of what reinstatements do for stocks and what it can mean for you if you get in it. And it was shouted out within our group because of the sudden spike. Because of the sudden spike in volume here. You can see this volume bar is way up and went way above and beyond its normal volume. I believe it was called on equity feed, was the scanner of choice. And again, I'm going to go over equity feed scanners here in a little bit in a future video, just so you guys get a good grasp of how that works, because I do think it's worth the money. And anyway, so again, this is what reinstatements will do to a stock. The other thing, why this kept running, as you can see, let me get this out of the way. All of this was basically involving the reinstatement alone. But what happened after that was more catalysts and news that was released. And I can go ahead and show you that. So this is what happens. Okay, when you see a volume spike like this, you go and do due diligence. Why is this volume spike coming up? And so the first thing you want to do is maybe check out Nevada Secretary of State, which is the most popular reinstatement site. So if you go to, I already have it pulled up for you. If you go to, you just Google Nevada Secretary of State, look this up, and what do you know? It was reinstated on March 8th, and that is when the volume spike occurred. And so you go and do some more due diligence, and you go to OTC markets. I actually have it pulled up here as well. Now, one thing to note is that it does have a stop sign on it, which means that not all of their filings are current. I'm sure it's because it's been a shell for quite some time and been pretty dormant. Now, it is a cause for concern. However, sometimes you just got to run on the volume itself. And potential news that's coming out. Obviously, this thing was reinstated for a reason and not just to let it sit there. And as we can see, I also have another resource that we use when we're doing our due diligence, and that is Yahoo Finance is one of them. Obviously, OTC Markets has news here. One of them was that they are doing a reverse merger, which is huge news. Anytime they do a reverse merger, that's a huge news. But there was also debt cleanup. But see, this is the one thing that I don't like about OTC markets, is that they're not exactly always up to date when it comes to news releases. Because if you go to Yahoo Finance, this the finalization of the reverse merger was back on March 19th. That was announced through Yahoo Finance, and OTC Markets has the date listed as April 3rd. So I don't know what the deal is there, but that's why always utilize all of the resources that you can when finding out information. And if you were one of those folks who saw the writing on the wall after it was reinstated and stayed into this, then this is when it really jumped up. So if you can see, and this was on March 19th. So if you go back around the March 19th area, you can see a bunch of selling volume here. But in the days after, obviously it continued to jump, and there was even more news that came out about debt cleanup. So they were getting rid of a lot of the debt, which obviously is another big catalyst within the OTC. It's a huge deal, and so this is kind of like the perfect storm, if you will. They get reinstated, they take care of debt, and there's a reverse merger. So basically, this company was bought so that they could do a reverse merger under Lannister Holdings, and so all this is a big deal. Let me get back to you guys. Bear with me. Okay. So all of that is a big deal when it comes to catalysts and why things run, why companies will reinstate, and it's because they're looking to turn it into something. We've seen this with ticker symbol FRFS. That thing ran like 13,000% when it was reinstated over several days. And because they were going through a reverse merger as well. So that's a big deal. And that we're actually looking to try and see. There really isn't a scanner out there that scans for reinstatements. I'm consulting with my developing team to see if there's a way that we can do that. I don't know of anything out there that is. So if you do, by all means, comment on this video and let me know if there is any kind of screener that we can somehow utilize, because it's not through Equity Feed. I can tell you that. I mean, we can get news through them and stuff, but when it comes to like reinstatements, that's kind of one of those things that we just still don't have the tech on. And so working on that actually just inside within our own group. But if there's something out there, guys, please shout it out. Let us know. But as far as I know, there isn't one. So it's one of those things where you're just looking at your scanner, you see a volume spike. It's typically dollar volume that we like to encourage when you're using your scanner. And after that, you go and find out why. Go find out why that volume is spiking, and then make a decision after you do your due diligence as to whether or not you're going to buy into that. But reinstatements, I'm telling you, they are huge most of the time. And they are definitely something that you can just ride the momentum on and get out. Or if you do further due diligence and see that there's a bigger picture here, obviously you can stay in it if that is your choice. But just wanted to touch on why reinstatements matter, why they're a big deal, and hopefully that will help you when it comes to making buying decisions as well as selling. And so that is all I have for you as far as reinstatements go. That's pretty much the simplified version as to why they matter. So I will go ahead and leave it up to you guys as far as questions go. So someone said, curious reinstatement, you said aren't done willy-nilly, so I guess for the heck of it is what you meant by that. Is it usually means great news, correct? Or some of those usually negative sides? So again, it depends, but with reinstatements, obviously people are reinstating that, spending the money to send to the Secretary of State because they are looking to turn this company into something. And that usually means the valuation of that company will rise. So in theory, that can mean that, the stock will rise after it gets reinstated. So that's just kind of how that works. It just doesn't make sense, right? I mean, unless for whatever reason the CEO is a piece of crap and he's just trying to do a pump and dump or whatever. But that's one of those things that you just have to be careful of, and why we do our due diligence to try and look out for those sort of things. So somebody asked, why are you wearing headphones? So, hey, it's not a stock related question, but I'll answer it anyway. So the reason that I'm wearing headphones, if you guys are new to my channel, within the last month and a half, I've upgraded my equipment. I got a nicer microphone. I got a nicer camera. And the reason why I have headphones is so I can hear myself talking and make sure that the sound quality is good enough for you guys at home. So that's why. If you ever watch a radio show, you can see those guys are wearing headphones, and they do that for the same reason. So that's why I do that. I actually used to ask myself all that, back in the day as well. So don't feel silly. Did you get some time to try to set up a screener in TradingView? So as you noticed, I'm using TradingView a lot more often. And so TradingView does have a scanner. I haven't gotten a chance to check that out. But I will be taking care of that here in the very near future to help you guys look through the TradingView scanner to see if it's something that all of us can benefit from. Stones, thank you, man. Somebody, one of my regular subscribers donated to my channel. Man, I can't thank you enough. Every time that you do, it just makes me feel great about what I'm doing here. So do appreciate that. So I'm listening to myself. Yeah, so I'm listening to myself in my headphones. Yes, exactly. But mine's in real time. You guys are a little bit delayed. Clark Kent. You guys always crack me up. Okay. All right. So doesn't look like you guys have any more questions on that. I guess that means that I did my job in explaining it very well. So with that, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed this video tonight. My new channel name. Hope you guys like it. Leave some comments as to whether or not you like you think the new name works. If it sticks with us, again, it's Own the Chaos. My name is Brad Smith. I am going to go ahead and leave it there. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, of course, as always, smash that button. And I will see you all before the bell. With that, guys, that's all I got for you. So B Smith is out.